Matt Kelly, you're ready to go. And you've got good things to tell us. You're going to talk about pop-up papers, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. And we even got some, not that one.
For the younger kids in the room, this is a newspaper. This thing. I'm going to talk about this newspaper, okay?
And we're going to get this to you real soon. There we go. This is the right presentation, and there's the mic for you.
Thank you. Okay. June the 23rd last year, Britain took the monumentally stupid decision to leave the European Union. Not quite sort of elect Donald Trump stupid, but it's in the same league. And I thought the only logical response to this was to launch a new national newspaper. I felt that mainstream media, this was a symptom of mainstream media being completely out of touch with actually what was happening in the real world, that the old politics, the left versus right, which was reflected in papers, was no longer true out in the real world. And there was a gloriously huge opportunity. There were more than 16 million people, which looked nicer in a different typeface, 16 million people that were feeling angry like I was. There was a real emotion around Brexit, the 48% that had lost the vote. And I was sitting in this cafe in Shoreditch, very trendy place. You'd like it all when you come to London next. I was sitting there and I thought, we should do this. We should launch a national newspaper right now. And I spoke to a few people and they said, we've got to do it quickly because obviously it's going to get really boring really quickly. Politics, yeah, right. Anyway, 9 days later, there was the New European launched, world record for a national newspaper launch. Thank you very much. And it was there to fight the cause for Remain. And we thought we'll do it for 4 weeks. This is issue 69. There was a demand. That first issue sold 40,000 copies, no marketing, no advertising. We do very bold front pages, but inside it's full of very high quality long form journalism because we believe that it's a sophisticated problem and it needs sophisticated challenges. We also have spread our wings. We now cover different subjects, Aleppo there, austerity, the Grenfell Tower, and of course your own problems over this side of the pond. And we also have a great cultural section, and it's been this most remarkable experience. It's a profitable newspaper. The reason it's profitable is that is the entire staff of the New European. And apart from this guy here, the big tall guy, we're all part-time. We've all got day jobs in the organization. So we make a lot of money. And like anything in my life that goes right, it kind of throws me a bit. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about what went right with the New European. And of course, naturally, whenever I think about problems, I turn to the German philosopher Hegel, right? And Hegel spoke at great depth about the almost religious quality of reading a newspaper. And he said that people, it's like the realist's morning prayer. And you turn to it in commune with many other people. You do it in isolation, but you're aware that so many others are doing it. And of course, that led on, you're ahead of me, right? It led on to Benedict Anderson, didn't it? Of course. And Benedict Anderson took it a stage further and said, not only do newspapers serve a community, newspapers are the community. The act of creating a newspaper is the act of creating a community. And it made me think about the printed matter and the emotional engagement that audiences have with the New European. Every week they tweet photos of themselves reading the paper, sometimes with a little croissant and an espresso to show how European they are. And I wondered about why do I subscribe to printed media? And this is the printed media and actually the New York Times on digital that I subscribe to. And it's not often about the journalism or the content. What it is, it's about the emotion it invokes with me. And I think this is something we've forgotten. Why do I subscribe to the New York Times? Because when I was 17, I used to go to Paris and sit in cafes thinking I was the next Hemingway, reading the International Herald Tribune, and I fell in love with Gene Seberg. And every time I click onto the New York Times, it makes me feel romantic and connected and international. Why do I subscribe to the London Review of Books? Because it makes me feel clever, right? Sometimes I don't even open it, but when it falls through the letterbox, I think I'm clever enough to subscribe to the London Review of Books. Okay, it's an emotional connection. And I think about the metrics we've been chasing as an industry. They're all important. But there's a deeper, more important metric, I think, if we're going to survive this transition from a dependency on digital display to actually getting people to buy into our brands. And it's this profound thing, this thing that actually Ken Burns' brilliant documentary on the Vietnam War. And there was this extraordinary phrase, when you can't count what's important, you make important what you can count. And I think as an industry, we've done a little bit of that, and we've forgotten what was really important because we couldn't count it. And I'll tell you something that I don't think is important, is this abstract phrase, journalism. And we go on about it all the time. Journalism is a trade. People in the real world don't care about journalism. They care about what journalism does for you. And I think we've got to think a little bit harder and deeper. And it took Hollywood to explain to the people of Boston why the Globe was important. Right? The Globe is the Globe, and it has been for a long time. Hollywood told them what the emotional engagement was about, and subscriptions to the Globe have soared since that film came out. So I don't believe it's the quality of journalism that people latch onto with the New European. I think it's the quality of hope that the New European gives them about journalism. And happy Halloween, belatedly. And that's what I think, anyway, about engagement. Thank you very much.